How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Manor Lords, and welcome back to whatever we're calling this place. I've got no idea. I still haven't had an opportunity to see name suggestions because I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have fallen in love with this game all over again, which I know sounds silly because I've been putting out videos on it relatively consistently, but there was like a first batch of episodes that I put out, and then I took a couple of days to go and chill and do some other things, and I got a little bit sick, and I've had some pain that I've had to deal with, so I didn't play as much of this as I would have liked, and I thought, you know what, we'll see how it goes. And then I sat down to play it today. Well, was it today? Whatever it was today, and I've not stopped, basically. I've put like 8 or 9 hours into the game today alone across this save and some others that I've been playing around with just to see how things work. And that's actually been kind of useful because I've decided I want to do something a little bit different today. Now, before we get into all of that, we do have some business to deal with here because we have 405 planks, 54 timber. We are in a very, very good spot with this settlement. And I think part of the reason we have so many planks is because we have essentially 2 saw pits right next to each other, right next to a source of logs, right next to some storehouses. So my thinking is I want more people. So immediately I'm going to come in here. I'm going to start upgrading burgage plots, and we're going to see how many of these we can turn into level 3 burgage plots. And that's going to be the goal to start with, because what that's going to do is give me more population. It's going to give me more people, which means I can put more people into these granaries. And the reason I want to do that is because these guys are complaining about not having, well, putting them in a granary is not going to solve this issue, but the long and short of it is I want more people in my granaries. I want more people in my storehouses. I might need more of those as well to make sure that people are getting all the things they want. This plot, for example, doesn't have a lot of shoes. We are making shoes. We're just not doing a very good job of it. So if I go down here, my cobbler is right about here. Cobbler's doing a fine job. We've got quite a lot of leather though, so I almost wonder if it would be a better idea to maybe just go to this burgage plot and say, hey, you can also be a cobbler. And that way we might end up with a little shoe stall in this market, and then these guys can be leveled up to level 3 as well. That's sort of phase 1 of what I want to do. And while we're waiting for all of these guys to get their upgrades, I am wondering, nope, can't hit you right now. I've got a couple of things that I've changed. I decided to come out this way and move the logging camp, the forester, and the woodcutter a little bit further into the woods. And I've basically surrounded this area with trees. I think it looks really good. But what's more interesting is that I was playing around with my army a little bit, and it turns out that it's actually very easy at this stage of the game anyway, to get this particular group, the retinue, whatever they're called, the people that go to the manor. You can max them out. You can go to customization. Basically, this button here lets you recruit them. So I only had something like 5 to begin with. I just spent a bunch of treasury money to get 24 of them. And I think that was kind of, wait, I can rename them? Oh, okay, we're gonna call you guys the Lord's Guard is what we're going for there. They all look the same. I've given them pretty much all the same gear. Some of them have different shields and whatnot, but they're all wearing the same gear. And that's actually something that if I go and rally these guys, I love that you can wait, can I rename all of them? No, I can't. Okay. I can rename these guys though, and that's what's important. And I can rally them. So if I go, where are we looking? The manor is right here. What's a close location to rally these guys to? There's not really anywhere because I can't put them on a farm. So we'll just put them down here, and then I can get them to go stand in a field, and you can already see they look great. I want more of this. I need more of this in Manor Lords because this looks so good. This is giving me Mount and Blade vibes. And honestly, I kind of want to play some Manor Lord. I'm not gonna lie. These guys look amazing. Now, the reason I wanted to put these guys together, I also love that they still have the blue when they take all the gear off to go back to civilian life. It's so cool. It's such a good we need more of that in Manor Lords. Let me customize all of my soldiers. I will spend forever doing it. I really, really will. It's such a cool touch. Now, the reason that I wanted to get those guys together was because In the last episode, I talked about how there is a rich clay deposit here, and if we specialize this region in mining, we could go ahead and get ourselves this right here. We can get the deep mining upgrade, which will enable the building to extract resources indefinitely if placed on a rich deposit. Now, that's a cool idea, right? We could have a specialized clay mining region right here. We obviously have some stone, we have some iron, we have some food. That's great. Going a little bit north, we could do the same thing, except this time with iron, and that would be 2 specialized mining regions. But then I got thinking, it seems like a lot of work. Why don't we look around and see what the alternatives are? And then I noticed that the king happens to have a stone deposit right here, which is something. We've also got an iron deposit right here, which is something. Annoyingly, we don't have a rich clay deposit, which is a bit of a shame. We do have one up here. Long story short, I got thinking to myself, why don't we go to war? That's kind of where I'm at with Manor Lords right now. So that's why I maxed out the Lord's Guard. And yeah, I'm going to try and invade this region and take it over and get my hands on this rich iron deposit. Because if I can do this, I sort of want to see if I can maybe make my soldiers better. I don't know if I need to at this point, but I want to try. So we're going to get to that. Not right now, but we're going to get there today. Oh, now this is great. We've immediately got 2 new clothing stalls right in here, which should mean that these guys have nothing to complain about. They should end up with some shoes from this cobbler. And if they do, they can be upgraded to level 3 as well. It's actually a weird complaint. There are definitely a few clothing stalls in this space. I guess it's just not doing much for the shoes around here, which is, it's weird, but we can deal with that. It's not by any means the end of the world. We still haven't imported any more roof tiles to this region, which is a little bit annoying. It'd be nice to get my hands on some of those, although I'm sure... Oh, I forgot we're doing the full trade here as well. We don't really need to be doing that. Let's just import and see where the trader happens. Okay, the merchant's nowhere to be seen. That's fine. They'll show up at some point, I'm sure. And we can, continue upgrading all of these guys. Like I said, the main reason to do this is I just want more stockpiles. I want more granaries. I want more market stalls. And now that I think about it, this market's actually full. I think this market down here is also full. And then we have this little one down here that is also full. Now, I haven't upgraded these guys because some of them have been complaining about not having, let's see, yeah, not having food stall supplies. So that's something we're going to want to deal with, I think. And we might want to do that by building a new market. Now, this one can be upgraded. We'll do that. This one can't because, again, food stall supplies and tavern supplies. So maybe that's what we do. Maybe we get another little market in here, or we could... I'm trying to weigh up my options, really. I'm trying to figure out if I want to just build another market right at the end there, or if I want to... We have some space in here. We could maybe do some more houses. It's definitely tempting. I just really like the way I've done this so far, right? With the sort of little market here, the building behind it, little market here, tavern behind it. I guess we could sort of do the same thing down here if I wanted to. I just might have to clear out some trees to sort of see what I'm working with first. It looks like I've got a little road that goes through this way and then cuts down this way. So maybe a little market sort of in this space that I'm outlining with my mouse. And then, well, maybe that's where we could move. We do have some, a granary and a storehouse up here. We can move them down to this space. I think that's what we'll do. And then just get a new burgage plot in here. So let's first off do this the slow way, by going to this logging camp and saying that, I kind of need all these trees to go away. So I'm just going to set the logging camp to clear that entire space. And that'll clear this out so I can see exactly what I'm working with. We've done this before. We cleared out the space over here so I could see what I was working with. So we'll do the same thing here. We'll clear it out. We'll get ourselves a new market space. We'll get a new burgage plot. And we will probably just build. I don't think I can move these. That's a lot of resources we're going to have to move as well, but we'll build some new storage things in here, and I think that'll be good for us. And in the meantime, we did get some roof tiles, so we can go in here and upgrade a few more of these burgage plots, which we're absolutely going to do. We've got 2 right here that I'm going to need more roof tiles to upgrade, which is completely fine. And honestly, given that we have over 300 planks, I'm very tempted to go ahead and get another another logging camp just because I can. I could put it out here. It would be another great supply of it. We could do more storehouses. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think that's gonna be the idea here. So let me see. What way do I want to do this? I think what we'll do is we'll go here. We're just gonna do it simply. I'm thinking from sort of an aesthetic point of view, which I know is silly. I don't need to, but I'm gonna say that we're gonna build it on the main road. I think that's fair enough. And I think I'm also going to do a little something like this and a little something like this. We can go straight across the back here as well. So this thing has connections on all sides. And I want to just sort of connect this to my existing roads. So you're going to sort of come around. We'll kind of curve you this way, curve you back over to here. And this one is going to go all the way in here. Absolutely no idea where the nearest road. Oh, the nearest road's right there. That's perfect. We'll curve you to the right and to right there. And so that's just a little way to get up to the farms a little bit quicker. And then in front of this guy, I suppose I could do, I guess I could do a storehouse. I should probably do a forester just to sort of repopulate this space as well. So I think that's what we'll do just to get things started is we'll get a, actually, I think I'm going to do roads first because I might be able to do a forester and a storehouse right next to each other if I have the forester sort of sideways. So if I do this, I get my, not the saw pit, but the forester, and I turn off snap to roads. We'll rotate it so it fits nicely in this corner right about here, I think, is sort of what I'm looking for. Can I get a storehouse? I absolutely can. It's 100% going to fit, which is perfect. So you are going to live basically right about there. And then I don't need a granary next to this thing, but I think a hitching post out here would be a really, really nice addition. So we'll do a hitching post right about here. That'll be fine. We'll do a road that goes between these guys right about here. And I think that's pretty solid. I don't know if we need anything else out this way. That's sort of exactly what I'm looking for. And this is coming together super quickly, which is absolutely fantastic. I've already got 3 people assigned to work out here and start taking down trees. I have assigned some livestock to this thing as well so that we can start moving the timber really quickly. And then we just need to get the storehouse built, which I'm going to make it the highest priority. We'll make the forester one step down from that, and we'll have the hitching post be just a high priority. So we'll get the storehouse, then the forester, then the hitching post. We'll upgrade, obviously, the storehouse into a larger storehouse. We'll upgrade the hitching post into a stable. And then I think from there, I would be quite content to just sort of wait for these upgrades to be done, which honestly, most of them are. It looks like it's just these guys that are getting finished there. Wait for those to be done. Wait for this space to be cleared out, which it nearly is, to be fair. It's definitely getting there. And actually, looking at this space, I'm pretty sure I could probably go in here and we'll just sort of curve down like this. I'm going to go for a bit of a weirdly shaped area for this market just because I don't need something absolutely enormous, but I want something that has a little bit of character to it, which is roughly going to be that. And then my thinking is plain and simple. We just get ourselves a... Do I want to do a granary and a storehouse or just 2 storehouses? I could. Can I get a granary over here? That's annoying. That's painfully close to working, which is such a shame. What about, can I get 2 granaries back to back? I mean, I could probably on this side. I could probably get them next to each other on this side, actually. Which maybe that's what we do, is we just get a couple of granaries right next to each other. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do, is a couple of granaries next to each other just to sort of max out the number of people that can move stuff around for these, which by the looks of it, I'm not going to be able to do because of that road. So let me get rid of you. We'll go back in, we'll get our granary, and I want it to be right next to the existing one or the upcoming one. So right about there, we'll get a storehouse, and I'm kind of thinking we don't do them necessarily facing down towards the market, but we could do a storehouse right about here, I think is a decent spot. And I think we do another one right about here. And that'll give us 2 granaries, 2 storehouses. It gives us some weird space for roads and all of that, but I'm kind of okay with it. And I think what we do is we bring this road sort of over. We'll bring it up towards the storehouses, and we'll see if I can get it to... I mean, it's not going to be right against the storehouses, but honestly, I think that's okay. I think right about there's what I'm looking for. And I think something just straight down here is perfectly fine. And that seems all right. I don't know what this space is necessarily going to be. It's a little, Suddenly I'm thinking I should have moved these over, but you know what? This will be okay. This will be a huge amount of storage and a huge amount of space that we can play around with. That's 3 new storehouses that we're putting together. And then this space down here is going to be for a market. So what we'll do is we'll get ourselves a marketplace. I can lay this out pretty much immediately. So something like that's 25, 27. I can't really see what the angles are going to be, which is a little bit frustrating. It's going to be something. I think I'm going to go for the 25. I think we're just going to wing it is what we're going to do. Although the game's again having trouble. We'll just wing it. We'll do that. In fact, is that just a quick way to get rid of trees? That is, I could have just done that the entire time. Okay, that's good to know. I'll keep that in mind. I should know that by now, but evidently I don't. Let's see, 26, 29 market stalls. That's impressive. 25 of them. I think I'm going to go for the 20. I don't need 29 market stalls. I think I'll just go for the 25 is what we'll do. And then we'll bulldoze this guy to move all of those market stalls across the street, which is exactly what that will hopefully do. And by the looks of it, yeah, we've got a bunch of market stalls coming in here already. So that is absolutely perfect. That should keep everybody nice and happy. And hopefully start providing things to all of these guys that they didn't have before. That's going to be the goal anyway. And you know, I think just because we have almost 2 years of supplies, I'm going to just put some small burgage plots in here to sort of surround this space a little differently. We'll bring them down to, let's say here. We'll bring a road sort of out of this spot up to around there and continue it sort of along the border is what I'm thinking. We'll go around this way and then maybe curve it sort of towards my lumber camp up here. That seems like a great idea. So we'll curve it to say there and then curve it into about there, and that should be fine. So that gives us a little road that goes up that way. On this side of things, I'm kind of considering the same idea. I'm thinking we could do sort of a road that comes out this way a little bit. We'll sort of come down and around. A nice little curve that way seems good. We'll cap it off and then just bring a road in, lining up with the one we just built. And let me see. This road can actually continue as well. We'll bring it down through the forest, sort of along the edge of our territory. It's going to be going down a big old hill, which is completely fine by me. And we'll just link it up to about there. And that seems great. So that gives us more room for burgage plots just to fill out this space, just to boost the population a little bit, just because I have this market right here, really. And I want it to be surrounded by plots, and because I've got 96 timber and just want to see what happens when I try and build an unreasonable number of burgage plots. So this is a little messy. We could spread it out a little bit. We've got a bunch of expansion slots on these as well, which I think I'm willing to work with that. I think that's what we go for. It's 6 plots. That'll be 12 families once we get the expansions in there. So sure, we'll go ahead and build that. And then in here is sort of a similar story. We can do, let's see, can I get the corner there? It's right about there. For some reason, no, which is really annoying, actually. Okay, what if I did it in this direction? Is that going to behave nicely, or is that also going to have problems? It is also apparently going to have problems. Oh, it's too steep. Oh, wait, what's too steep about it? Is it just too steep in general? That might just be too steep in general. Okay. Let's try doing half of it at a time. Also too steep. Although this works, apparently. So we'll just do that instead. And then come down here. Actually, we'll go sort of this way, and this way. We'll rotate you around, and we'll do that as well. And that'll be a whole bunch of burgage plots, which I'm completely fine with. I think it'll look good. It'll be nice to have these spaces by the market. I think that'll be great for us. I think we can also immediately level these guys up, but I think first I'm going to get my expansions for them because that seems like it would be the better idea. And I almost forgot about this space, which is sort of the whole reason I cleared that out. It's not going to be a great looking burgage plot, to be completely honest with you. It would be better if it was the other way around, but I think it'll be okay. Unless I do it in this direction. Does that behave better? No, not in the slightest. You know what? We'll just build it anyway. That's fine. That's completely fine. Can this be a burgage plot? I have my doubts, but I'm curious. No, that's all right as well. That's we'll not worry too much about that. Now, I've got to be honest, I don't like this space as much as I thought I would. I have built a new road in here though, so I'm gonna very quickly just build a few more burgage plots that come across this direction, so they're sort of back to back with each other. I think that'll look a little bit better. I don't need to do this, let's be honest, but I'm gonna give it a shot and see what happens. I'm also looking at this space and thinking that what I might do is I might go back on my plan. I might go down to just 1 and 1 and then build another tavern in here. I think that might be the better choice. So I'm going to clear these guys out. I'm going to clear out this granary as well. And I'm going to clear out this road because I'm fairly sure I probably should have tested this before bulldozing things. Yeah, I can probably get a tavern in there. I might not get a storehouse. I'll be honest. I might have not left myself enough room for a storehouse, but I think a tavern's probably the right call, to be honest with you. I think it's a more interesting looking building. And then I suppose I should probably start to upgrade these burgage plots as well. We have the resources to do it, and they seem happy enough to be upgraded, so might as well get that going so I get a little bit of tax money from each and every single one of them. This one doesn't have clothing, so that's fine. I can upgrade some of them at least, which is better than absolutely none of them. And I'm also keenly aware that I do have 11 unassigned people right now. That's completely fine. We will get them all out and working soon enough. But for now, my priority is, I'm going to say this tavern. I think a tavern right here is, I think that's the call. I could build my manor in there as well, to be honest, but I'm going to say the tavern's the way to go. I'm also kind of tempted to say that it goes this way, so it's facing the market, kind of like the other one. I think that's gonna look better. So I think a tavern basically there is gonna be the call. I did upgrade this granary, but I'm now sort of regretting that choice because I might want rid of it. But again, we'll see what we can do. We'll build a little road right about here, and yeah, that granary might have to go. That's kind of annoying. I really should have probably tested things before I got to building, but you know what? It's fine. A storehouse in here. I think that's going to be the call. I think right about there. I could move it back a little bit, but I think here should be fine for a storehouse. And then granary, will it fit behind the storehouse? It would if I get rid of that back road. So I think we might have to get rid of that back road. And there we go. We have space for a granary. We have our storehouse. We have a tavern. That's going to be a great little space is what that's going to be. We got a bunch more burgage plots coming up here as well. I think that's going to look a lot better than what I was thinking of doing before. So I think that's going to be the right call. Now, let me upgrade you because you definitely need it. Let me upgrade you to level 3, you to level 3, and you to level 3 as well. I think you're already upgrading, which is fine. You're all being sorted as well. So we'll let them all sort of do their thing, although it looks like they're all actually done, which is great. So I'm wondering if I want to keep the trees in the backs of these guys, or if it would be worth doing things like, I mean, we have a lot of eggs, we have a lot of vegetables, we have a lot of bread, good Lord. I don't know if we need to do anything with these. It's probably not a terrible idea, especially given how large the lots are over here. So let's do apple orchards. We'll get more apples into these guys. I think it'll be nice to have them sort of at the edge of town. It'll be some nice big orchards as well. So we'll do that, and we'll have to have someone come over and plant some trees around these so it looks a little bit better. These guys have very, very small plots, so I think we'll do chickens, because I don't really think that gets affected by the size of the plot. So we'll have a bunch of little chicken coops back here, which will be lovely. And then these guys have decent enough sizes. I might say vegetable gardens. I could say goats. I'm going to say goats. I think goats are going to be the call here, just to make sure that we do have enough leather to keep up the shoe production, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, leather is coming down a little bit. Shoes are at 41, which is kind of making me think that I might need to double check my trade and see how many of those we're actually selling right now. So commodities, shoes, export anything over 30. Yeah, that should be fine. We'll be okay with that. Oh, and I should have mentioned I did build another forester's hut as well. So this guy's been going out and doing just a bit of everything. Let's have this guy just go to this area and start surrounding all these guys with trees. And now that we have 13 people not working, let's upgrade this storehouse. Let's get a couple of foresters here. Let's go ahead and get an ox and an upgrade here. And that should put us in a pretty good spot. We're sitting with 50 timber, 170 planks. This place is looking great. I've got to be honest. I am really pleased with how this space is looking. This one also needs a specialization. A little bit smaller at the back though. So maybe, I don't know, you could be, what do we need? That's kind of the question. We have a lot of flour. Do I want another baker? We've got a lot of yarn as well. Interesting. I think yarn and something are used to make clothes. Let's have you be a tailor. Let me also upgrade you to level 3 first, because that seems like a better idea. You know, I've got to be honest. I think I made the right choice in swapping this area out a little bit. I'm also really surprised because it turns out a bunch of these guys can be upgraded to level 3. These guys can also be upgraded to, at least some of them, to level 2, which I wasn't expecting in the slightest, but it's going to make this area look quite dense because they all have that second plot on there. So that's going to be honestly pretty good. Same with this guy, also going up to level 3, which is fantastic. Now, let's get some people working in this storehouse. Let's get some people working in this granary. That gives us 5 unassigned. Let's get 1 working in this tavern, and then out here, let's get 2. How many? We have a lot of residential plots. Honestly, we can just max these things out, if I'm completely honest. We've also got plenty of stable space, so we'll get another ox in here. I don't know if we need someone dedicated to working there, but this whole space is nicely set up. We have all of this space, which is doing its thing, which is great. So we should see, and we are seeing, some more stalls come in here, which is absolutely fantastic. And so I figure it's probably time to go ahead and invade that other region. I think that's kind of where I'm at, is I think it's invasion time. So, oh God, we're gonna have to rally the troops is what we're gonna have to do. Oh God, the camera. We also managed to really nicely surround this space of trees. So just before we do the old invasion, let me, oh man, I'm stalling. I've realized I am stalling 100%. Let me also put some trees around that space just because I can. We get trees coming up out here, which is great to see. These guys, I'm going to say honestly, just surround this entire space with trees if you don't mind, so it looks good again. And yeah, it's time to rally the troops. And there they are. This is what we're going to be going to war with. We have the Lord's Guard. We have 3 spear militia groups. We have 2 archer militia groups. Now all I need to do is go to this territory, claim with influence, and press that claim. And the king is not going to be happy about that, but that's okay. I'm not really too worried about what the king thinks right now. It'll be fine. I just think it might be an idea to just keep these guys here. That's, aha, there it is. The gauntlet has been thrown. The battle for Goldhof begins. We are currently losing. This is the battleground, and there's all the king's horses and all the king's men, of which there are many. He's got, what's he got? He's got light mercenary infantry, light mercenary archers, infantry archers. We've got more a lot of archers. Then he's got his own retinue, and he's got some brigands as well. So he's got a lot for me to deal with. With the battleground being there, though, I wonder if I can get a little bit cheeky And by get a little bit cheeky, I'm thinking I move my, so there's a hill here, right? I've got like the advantage. I've got the high ground. So if I put my guys here, I'm wondering if I can get my archers up on that hill and then just lure this guy in, right? That's the goal, is pull him towards me so I can just have my archers fire down on him, and we hope for the best. Now we've got plenty of time to play around with this. I'm a little bit worried that he's got so many archers, but there we go. The battle begins. He's falling back. That's fine. I'm going to have the Lord's Guard stay exactly where they are right now because I need to see what his guys are going to do. And I think it might actually be a great idea for me to put some archers here so that they are nicely up on that hill and can hopefully shoot down. We'll see what their effectiveness is pretty solid, to be honest. And these guys as well. I mean, we are uphill, but let me grab my troops, my just generic troops. Let me move them just down the hill a little bit. And let me move these archers a little bit further forward to roughly that spot. Because again, if I can stay uphill from these guys, we will be okay. And I almost want to move my regular troops back a little bit to draw his guys in. Because right now it's one group of archers versus my two, and I've got the high ground, so I should be okay. Now the worry is that his other groups of archers are coming in to back him up. We're starting to take a hit, so let me bring two groups of spear militia out this way, and we'll see if we can't maybe deal with some of those archers. Oh, he's got his brigands over there as well. Let me just push towards these archers with the spear militia. Let me grab the Lord's Guard and bring them into the forest over here. And these spear militia are going to just charge straight at those archers. I think my archers were taking a lot of losses. Let's push forward a little bit and just see if we can't maintain a position where we can do a lot of damage. Now, he's got a lot going on right there. Can I just open fire on his Manor Guard? Yes, I can. He's also got some brigands right there, which is a problem. Let me maintain fire on those guys. You go deal with those brigands. Just let's start that fight and see how that goes. The Lord's Guard is going to push towards those archers and see if we can't take them out nice and quickly. Hopefully we can do that. The archers are wanting to push back, which is fine. These guys are getting dealt with. Let me push my archers further forward. I don't want to completely lose the high ground here, so I'm gonna just be as careful with this as I can. Ooh, he's got his Manor Guard coming in there as well. You guys focus on that group if you wouldn't mind. See if we can't take them out from a distance and see what's going on. My guys are taking a bit of a hammering right here. These guys should take out those brigands, no problem. I'm a little worried about my Manor Guard. Things don't look too good for us right there. Have we been flanked? We have been flanked. Really? Oh. They did get the high ground there, huh? That's a problem. Okay, can you guys fall back and deal with that group of archers? We have a message. What is this? I can make it worthwhile for you to drop your claims right back. My claims are non-negotiable. Get out of here. I'm not interested. You're killing my guys. I'm gonna, you know, wrap things up by killing all of yours. That's the plan. Oh, this is okay. His Manor Guard's now a little bit weaker than mine. Let me just change the target of one of my archer groups to deal with his archers. We've engaged his group of archers up here as well, which is fine. That group of archers is very, very weak right now, which is great. So we should be able to take them out. You guys, and it looks like we have taken them out. You guys need to, let's see. I'm going to stick with the target of that. I'm also going to try to pivot my Manor Guard to deal with this group, because it looks like his guys are falling back a little bit. So if we can kind of take some of their guys out, which I think we're still doing. I don't think any of my guys, none of my guys have been rallied yet. They haven't been pushed back, so we're doing okay. I'm not really being very tactical here. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm sort of improvising. Let's have my archers deal with that group of archers, and they've been broken as well. Have we won? Oh, would you look at that? not bad. Can I get you guys to just open fire on all his all his guys? There we go. So I've taken a territory. Oh, that's great. Okay. All of you are going to come back to Nerdenfeld, if you wouldn't mind. So just right into here. We can disband the numbers a little bit and all should be good. So basically just select all of you, disband. I do want to actually mention that these guys do have to be customized and sorted out. So basically what I was doing was just recruiting men at arms. I mentioned it earlier, but basically do that. We can go and get a bunch of them just to fill it out again. And then what you want to do is you want to, in my case, what I was doing was I was changing their shields and I was changing their weapons. So anyone with a shield has the sword. Then I would upgrade their armor by importing it. And then I would go through and change their bodies to, I want to say this one. I would just make them all blue because I think it looks great. And then it's the same with the shield. It's just blue as well. And that's basically what I did for all of them. And that's what I'm going to have to do for all of them. Although I have decided that we'll do a little bit of white on the shields as well, so that there's some different patterns in there and it just looks a little bit different. So that's basically how I've been dealing with the Lord's Guard. And it's given me a territory, which is very exciting. It means I can get access to this rich iron deposit, which I absolutely want to do. We're not going to do that today, just to be clear. We'll move into this. This will be the goal for the next episode, is get set up in here. And that's going to be tricky because you have to keep in mind, this region was really easy to found because, I mean, fundamentally, I had a bunch of gold in here to begin with. Over here, I've got nothing but what I bring with me. So we'll see how that goes. I have a feeling it'll just be vegetable gardens and chickens again, but, you know, we don't start with 1,000 gold this time, so that's part of the challenge, I guess. Now, I will say, I'm really surprised at the amount of level 3 burgage plots that I have in here, and I've got more on the way just up at this end of town, and a bunch of these guys are upgrading to level 2 as well. And that's without even mentioning the fact that we now have 173 living spaces. We have 144 families. So I have the ability to massively expand the population here. So I'm probably overdoing it a little bit. I'm probably getting a little bit too carried away, and I do think that might end up giving me some trouble. So I'm thinking that we're gonna build another farmhouse because the population is going to grow, and I think another farmhouse will be a good thing. And I'm sort of wondering, can I get it into this space here? I absolutely can, which is beautiful. We'll have a farmhouse right about there, and that'll be fine. I am not really interested in having another field in here, but I would like a little road that just sort of goes around the farmhouse like this, because it connects to that little bit of dirt, makes it look better, and that'll be good. That'll be completely fine. Let me also, because I've I've planted all of the trees. Well, I was going to say I've planted all of the trees out here. This looks like it could still use a little bit of work. So we'll keep this, the forester that's way down here. We'll keep them assigned to working on planting trees out there just until this gets a little bit more dense. And then once they're done, we'll send them up just to sort of repopulate this space a little bit so that we kind of mask the fact that we have another farmhouse. Now, in other news, I've just noticed that we do still have a ridiculous amount of flour in here, despite the fact that it's January and the harvest season was a few months ago. We also have a lot of yarn, so I want to say that we might want to get our hands on more storehouses, because those guys will set up different stalls for whatever might be needed. I'm also thinking might not be a bad idea to get another bakery down here just to change things up a little bit. And I'm also thinking that we did a cobbler, right? We built something earlier that I thought was important. It was a tailor, wasn't it? Where did I, oh God, where did I put the tailor? Oh man, this is the problem now. For the life of me, I have no idea. Let's have you, wait, can I not afford a tailor? I don't have the planks. How did I go from like 350 planks to none? Oh wait, no, I've upgraded everything. That's how. Okay, that makes sense. I don't want to, did I not build one? I could swear I did build a tailor somewhere, right? Was it not you? None of you guys? Was it you? No, that's a cobbler. Oh man. This This is a problem. This is the... Is it not one of these guys? No, they're all like chickens or whatever they are. Are none of you a tailor either? Did I... Did I really? Hold on. It would look different, right? That's a brewery. That's a cobbler. That's a fletcher. That's a joiner. That's a bakery. It would look like that, right? Would I have the workshops out back? Okay, I might be losing it. I might be losing it. I'm almost certain that I did get a tailor. I might have been, maybe I just talked about it. I don't remember. We've done a lot today. So we'll get a tailor in here. I think that'll be a great spot for it. And then we'll look and see what the tailor can do for clothing. And then just import whatever the other resource is, because we have so much yarn. We don't have as much leather as I'd like, so we might want to get our hands in another tannery, to be completely honest. We do have a tannery here. Yeah, I think we want another one. I think another tannery would be a great idea for us. So we'll go for a tannery sort of back this way. So we'll get it right about there should be fine. We'll do the usual that we did with this area of bringing a road sort of right back. We'll bring a road sort of right around and bring a road sort of straight down. And that'll be a new tannery. And that'll hopefully give us a nice amount of leather so that everybody can maintain, oh God, the camera, relatively low level clothing, I guess. Let's also make this a higher priority so it can get done sooner so that I can see what I'm going to have to spend my money on. There we go. So if we have linen and dye, we can make clothes. If we have linen, we can make gambesons. If we have yarn and dyes, we can make cloaks. We're going to be doing cloaks because we have so much yarn. We don't have any dye, and we don't have enough berries to be expendable. So we're going to need another thing. We're going to need a dyer's workshop, which I don't think I built in this space at all. So this will be a new little industrial thing that we'll build somewhere. I'm kind of looking at this space back here and thinking that would work. Actually, do I have one of these? I don't think I did build a dyer's workshop. So yeah, we'll get one of these guys back here and that'll be perfectly fine. So right about, I want to say there, and we'll go ahead and do the usual of getting some roads around it just because I can. It doesn't really do anything for us. It just looks interesting, and honestly, it holds the trees back a little bit as well, which I kind of like. We'll do the same thing here because I don't have one around this forester right now. So right to about there and right to about there should be pretty good for us. Let's make this a top priority as well. And I guess what we'll do is go to the trading post. We'll go to trade. We'll go to crops. We'll go to food rather. And we want to set up a trade route for berries. We want to import them. We're looking for a surplus of 150. So a lot of the time we are going to be importing these guys, but they're relatively cheap. They're 13. And then we just turn them into dyes. We start getting some cloaks, and that'll be another source of clothing for everybody. Also, kind of wild that we filled this marketplace. I'm not going to lie. Wasn't expecting to do that so quickly. It looks great though. I've got to be honest, it looks really, really good. So I'm quite pleased about that. We might just end up with some complaints that there's no room for new markets. So might have to figure that out. Maybe this space, but I kind of like it when we have trees around there. So not 100% sure about that one. I think what we'll do just for the time being is I'm going to come in here and set this, this forester's hut is going to be set up to just maintain the trees in this area. This forester's hut is already set up to do that. So I'm going to say just a slightly larger area for this one. And then we have another forester's hut over here, which I'm going to set up to basically maintain a lot of the same space, but we'll go a little bit larger. And you know what? We'll go for, I don't know, we'll go a bit smaller actually. We'll go for like here, and that'll be fine. That might be too big of an area, and it's ridiculous to have that many foresters working in one space, but it's going to look good once we surround this entire thing with trees again. So I don't regret it in the slightest. Oh, and there we go. The dyer's workshop is set up. It's kind of adorable looking, honestly. It does sort of look like something I'd make in the forest, which is a game I haven't played a lot of, but it kind of gives me the forest vibes. I'm kind of okay with that though. It's like a little, if I do, if I turn all the HUD off, it's kind of like, this doesn't look like it's right next to, all of this. It's sort of, it's It's quite nice, honestly, is what I'm getting at. It's a very nice looking little building. Anyway, I think we can go ahead and leave it there for today. We've made some really good progress. I absolutely adore how this street has come together. Just this one road for the entire town is such a cool look. I also want to say that the tailor, as well as quite a few of these buildings, have nobody living in them right now. So eventually, same with the bakery here as well. Eventually, we are 100% going to need another market because this one's full. We've got a couple of places right here that are going to want to do business. So I'm going to have to figure out where to put a market is what I'm going to have to do. This place here also doesn't have any people. I could clear out that one plot and put a market right there, which might not be a bad idea. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to bulldoze you, and we're going to clear out those supplies, hopefully very, very quickly. And we are going to build a marketplace where that house used to be, which is only going to be 12 stalls, but that should be fine. And I also want to just say that this does have a chicken coop at the back and does have chickens inside. So even though there's no one living at this house, the chickens are there. They are laying eggs. And I don't know if that's an intentional piece of game design or if that is something that 100% is going to get changed at some point. But I think this was the right call. I think a little marketplace there is going to be great. And I think it's also the right call, like I said, to leave it there for today. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.